wondering if it's going to fit, 'cause it is pretty high in the engine bay. It's going to be awfully close to the hood, but will it fit? Originally, I wasn't going to make a video for this, but I've had a few guys online ask me if I even have room for an air cleaner because I'm running a pretty tall single plane intake manifold. So I thought, let's make a video. So let's go over some of the information that I have and figure out how much room we actually have. Before you put on your air cleaner and just slam the hood shut, you want to take some measurement because you don't want to be that guy. Now I knew because of my tall intake manifold I'd have to run a drop base air cleaner. And the one I bought was an All-Star 1 3/4. So it has a pretty aggressive drop. It's actually the biggest drop I could find. And I thought I would have to have this to fit. Now this is 14 inches in diameter. And here is a standard 14 by 3 inch paper air filter. I went with a cheap one just because I figured I'd have to figure out what was the best height and what would work. So this all fit up nice. But one thing I didn't like is I didn't have a lot of clearance between the lid and the drop base. And at this point right here, there's probably only like 3/8 of an inch of gap between this section right here and the lid. And I didn't like that. That was going to be really restrictive. It's hard to see. You really can't see it in there. But the thing is, when this was on, it did fit and it did have clearance. So I knew I could run a base that wasn't quite as aggressive. This is the drop base I ended up getting from Jegs. It actually has a 1.32 drop base, so it's not as aggressive, but it'll still, I think, give me enough hood clearance. So let's go to the car and check. Hey Logan, what you working on?
My race car.
Look, eagle.
Where?
All right, thankfully for my son, now I have some Play-Doh. So what I did is I ended up taking 4 pieces and rolled it into little logs, and I'm gonna put it at the front, back, and 2 sides of the air cleaner, and we can check for clearance. All right, so I just put the Play-Doh down, and what we're gonna do now is slowly bring the hood down. I'm not gonna latch it. I'm just gonna bring it probably within a 1/2 inch of latching and take a squeeze and impression, and then we'll lift the hood up and see what kind of space we're looking at. All right, here we go. We're gonna slowly bring the hood down. Again, not gonna latch it. That's about a 1/2 inch away. All right, that looks pretty good. Well, the front of the air cleaner is definitely tightest to the hood. Not surprising with the slope of the hood and everything. The sides and the back have like ample clearance. Here, we're probably looking at about 3/4 of an inch. So what I'm gonna do now is latch the hood slowly, watch the hood, and we'll take another measurement. Let's bring it down. I'm gonna see just how it feels. I didn't really feel any major resistance. Let's take a look. Sure enough, that there is probably about 3/8 of an inch, man. We're totally good. So this is gonna be like the perfect setup. Now that I know that this air cleaner base and a 3-inch air filter fits, I went and scrapped my generic filter and bought another 3-inch cane in, just so it all matches, and that's the air filter I wanted to run. So there she is. That's how it looks. I think it looks awesome, and that's how I determined how much hood clearance I actually have. This is the Jegs drop base air cleaner I'll be using. It's a 14-inch diameter with 1.32 inches of drop, and this combined with the 3-inch air filter element is going to be perfect for my car. And they have different sizes, and you have to figure out what's going to work best for you. Now we're going to look at the low deck B engines, which is your common 383, 400, which have a deck height of 9.98 inches. Your raised deck is your 413, 426, 440, and those have a common deck height of 10.725 inches. So that's a difference of 0.745, just about 3/4 of an inch. Now that's going to do 2 things. It's going to bring your carburetor lower in the engine bay, so it gives you more hood clearance, and it's also going to bring your cylinder heads in a little bit, so you have more spark plug clearance. Now if you're trying to choose an engine and a build, that might matter to you. If not, it's just good information to know. Now a common intake manifold on the 440s is a Edelbrock RPM intake. A lot of people run it and we know it fits. Now that has a carb height of 5.35 inches with a total height of 16.075 inches. Now the intake manifold I'm using is the Trick Flow Track Heat. It has a carb height of 5.75 inches with a total combined height of 15.73. So it's a taller manifold, but since my deck height is shorter, it's still going to give me more clearance. So my combined height is still 0.345 inches shorter than the 440 with the RPM intake, which we know fits. And just to be clear, we're talking about deck height here, which is from the crank center line to the cylinder head surface of the block. So that isn't a perfect vertical stack up. I know it's going to be a little bit different, but I don't know the exact dimension. If anyone does, post it in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it. Well, that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit the like button. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And feel free to leave your comments below. I always be sure to answer any questions or leave a comment back. I'd really appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time.